a huge issue for the electorate in this election was the border. And Trump made a lot of promises. He obviously got Tom Homan to be border czar, which was the best pick of all time. And they've been saying well ahead of the election that as of day one, the deportations were going to start, and man, they mean business. Here's a report from Fox News from Bill Malugin about some of the ICE raids that were already taking place this very first week.
Morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
That's a
Gotta love
promise.
it. Promises made, promises kept.
And listen to those people. 17 convictions, rape, murder. I'm going to go on. What the hell were you people allowing to go on? And okay, again, I like to remind everybody, yes, sometimes some people will get swept up who've done nothing wrong outside of coming in this country. But for the love of God, why would you release people when they say, please hold this person? We've got an order to remove. He's wanted by Interpol. And we're like, well, based on our virtue signaling, he's wanted by nobody.
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's a dereliction of duty of any law enforcement person in it. I don't care if it's a sanctuary city or state. If they are letting known murderers on the street, how is that fulfilling their oath of office? You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so that guy that was featured in that video from Haiti, the one that was like thanking Biden, somebody made this hilarious video.
Going back to Haiti.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti.
I just love that. He's going back.
So funny. He's
Bye.
going back. If I want a flight, I'm not going back. You are going back. And if we have to put you in a parachute and drop you off, it's going to happen.
It's happening. It is happening. We have to mention our fantastic sponsor, ReadyWise. So if you are feeling good about all the stuff that Trump is doing, I don't blame you. It's awesome. But that shouldn't mean that you're just sort of resting on your laurels and thinking that everything is going to be fine forevermore. Because as we know from this world, it's super crazy. Disaster can strike at any moment, and you want to be prepared for that. So make it part of your New Year's resolution to visit ReadyWise.com and get yourself some meal kits, some emergency meal kits that you can have on hand and know that they're there. It's just really good peace of mind. Plus, they've got these cool ones where they're self-heating. You only need to add water, and it's like this magic kit that like cooks the meal with just some water, and then you've got it on hand. And the best part, or I guess the worst part in my case, is that I'm not very good at storing their emergency food because it tastes so good that I just want it when it's not an emergency. So that can be tricky, but you can have it all on hand. You can do different kits. You can do like a 2-month kit. You can do a 1-month kit. You can do a year-long kit. Whatever you want to have prepared for you and your family, you can have it on hand. Visit ReadyWise.com. Use promo code CHICKS20, CHICKS20 at checkout. You'll get 20% off of your entire order. Preparedness really is a gift of peace of mind. ReadyWise.com. Check it out. You will love them. You will love all of their food. Also, remember how the other day, Trump, I'm assuming it was an executive order. I'm not sure if it was like an order, if it was just a new regulation. I don't know the exact terminology or whatever, but he said enough of this undocumented migrant language. The official term, the correct term, and the term to be used henceforth and forthwith will be illegal alien, because that is the right term. And wouldn't you know it, Governor Ron DeSantis, always the first. He's right there making sure that a reporter does not get the terminology wrong.
WJXC News Channel 4 here in Jacksonville. I just have 4 questions. One, Florida is home to hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who are working in areas.
Well, so the federal government has made clear that the statutory term, it's not they're illegal aliens. That's the statutory term. That's what it is. And I think it's to try to water down. I mean, like, undocumented, it's like if I get in my car and I forget my wallet, okay, I don't have my document on me, like my driver's license, but I mean, I still have a right to drive. I just made a mistake. This is intentional to come in illegally. And it's not just a question of missing a document. It's a question of, you violated the law that were very clear, and knowingly, and with the help of the cartels in many cases.
I just love that.
It's right. And when I hear people say undocumented immigrant, I say, no, you and I can immigrate from California to Arizona to Tennessee. We're immigrating. We're moving. We're here. I immigrated to Britain, right? I did, but I did it all legally. I immigrated there. You came across. You're not migrating here. You're coming into our country illegally. So
you're invading.
That's it. These are the same people that would say, you know what? This is not a drug dealer. He's an unlicensed pharmaceutical director.
Exactly. And that is so typical of the left on everything, because it's just like abortion, which they always call reproductive health care, or they talk about revenues being, incoming revenues not being taxed Americans. It's like taxpayer money. They always try to use the softer, flowery language to make things seem less awful than they actually are. And this is just another example. So I'm glad that is over with. This next clip, it runs a little longer than we normally like to have on the show, but this was a fascinating discussion between Mayor Adams and Tucker Carlson. We played a clip from that interview a couple days ago. But this part is amazing, because Mayor Adams is the mayor of a sanctuary city. And so Tucker goes after him about that, because even though Mayor Adams, the clip that we played the other day was all about his frustration with the federal government, him being told by the Biden administration to be a good Democrat and just do all the things, spend all the money that it takes to take care of these illegals. And Tucker pushed back in this, and this part of the conversation is fascinating, because it's about the validity of sanctuary cities. And Mayor Adams is trying to defend it. I think by the end, maybe Tucker gets him to see the light a little bit. Check this out.
A liberal city, but mostly because it's a sanctuary city.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which is basically committed an act of insurrection against the federal government by ignoring federal law, kind of what the Confederates did at Fort Sumter, except even more outrageous. And so isn't there a sense in which New York kind of deserves this? It was a sanctuary city.
And many people don't really get the sanctuary city part.
Yeah, like me.
So here's what the sanctuary city states. John, who is from a country, is in New York. He goes into the store, he buys a loaf of bread. He's paying taxes on that.
Right.
He buys gas. He's paying taxes. Sanctuary City says that as long as you're here, you have a right to get the services your tax dollars are paying for. Your children being educated. If you need police services, you can get it. If you need medical care, you can get it. That's what Sanctuary City says, and that you should not be afraid of getting those services because your tax dollars are
right.
paying for
But I
them.
mean, you could say that of anybody breaking federal law. I mean, there could be someone indicted on terror charges or a murderer on the lam.
Right.
And if New York harbors him, it's harboring a criminal. It's violating federal law, and that is a form of insurrection, right? You're saying we're not following the laws of the United States of America. So, like, why shouldn't Washington send troops here, like, immediately and make you obey, as Eisenhower did to Central High School in Little Rock in the 50s when they ignored Brown versus Board? You can't be out of compliance with federal law without getting the 101st Airborne, don't you think?
Well, my conversation with Tom, who's coming in as our border czars.
Yeah.
One place he and I totally agree on. Those who violate their rights to come here by committing crimes, they need to leave our country after they serve their time. We're on the same page with that. That immigrant family who's trying to get a pathway into becoming a citizen, living out this amazing American dream, I don't think they should be rounded up in the middle of the night and say, we're going to move you out.
Well, then why isn't it fair for the states that are, still part of the United States and are obeying federal law to send all of their illegals here? Because you guys welcome them. I mean, and you can pay for it.
No, we're not welcoming them. We've been very clear. We're not welcoming everyone. Everyone sin. When we say when they're here and they're following the rules and they're paying their taxes, they're doing the things that people are supposed to do. My focus are those who are harming innocents.
But you said it was a minute ago. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I think it sounds good, but I think we just discovered why it's not good, because it's the volume. Like, I think probably 99% of the immigrants who are wrecking your city are great people who have good, they're not bad people,
right.
But there are just too many of them, and you can't afford it. And
how do you address that?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe not be a sanctuary city. Maybe to say we're going to follow federal law like everybody else.
Like, if you just explain the stupidity of these ideas, I don't know how you argue that at the end. I don't know how he came back from that at the end of that Tucker clip. Like, you can't take care of all these people. So how about just follow the law?
The funny thing is, it's like, they know they can't do these things. The problem was for Texas and Arizona, which was, you have them all. They come here and they kind of spread out and go certain places, but they're kind of staying mostly on the Southwest and West Coast. The minute it landed in their doors, they were like, at first, they're like, oh, this is great. We'll show you. Next thing you know, oh my God, we can't handle this. And they really need to be honest and go, all right, what is the number where we can still look like we're a sanctuary city, but at the same time, we don't go broke?
Right. And there is no number. That's the whole point. There's not an okay number. The okay number is 0 because they're not supposed to be here. And so now what we're going to see ad nauseum is going to be like all these, heartstring pulling photos of people that got their appointments canceled on the CBP1 app, or they're getting deported even though they were just here to make a better life for themselves. Do it the right freaking way. This is not hard. Stop invading the border. This is just like, I can't understand why this is complicated.
And you know what I tell, because growing up in Southern California, I had friends that we played soccer with, that they weren't here legally. By the way, they weren't all Mexicans. No, a couple of my buddies that I knew, they were British. They weren't here legally. They had businesses, they had families, the whole 9 yards. But all of them said the same thing. They knew the risk, and they know the risk. They know there could be a knock one day at the door. They understand that. They don't worry about it as much as the left likes to make you think, but they know the risk.
And they should. And actually there should be action on the risk. And that's what's happening now, is that Trump is actually taking action. So enough is enough. And I'm just super grateful to see it, because it's about frickin' time.